want to have a checklist going here. All right, what is persuasion content? It's emotional words. It's words that you use to help capture or connect with your visitor on an emotional level. They are also words that are focused on the customer. Instead of saying I, we, and my all the time, we're outward marketing. We're getting into the head of our visitor and talking about we, or talking about yours and theirs, and projecting outward to bring them in a little bit. So you always want to focus on the words that your customers are using. And of course, persuasive content is storytelling. Now, I have a theory that we spend millions and billions of dollars a year and a lot of time in our day and night reading fiction. And fiction authors are masters at crafting stories that are believable, content that they make up off the top of their heads, basically, that we get emotionally involved in, the characters and the situations and the conflicts. And we're able to use that in our websites as well. And then we'll be getting into some examples of how fiction authors use storytelling to create an emotional bond with our visitor. And then, of course, curiosity. So many things lead to our websites. A lot of people don't get there automatically or find them through search engines. Sometimes we're led there by emails and links and advertising, or even opt-ins, or any number of ways, these back doors that visitors get to our website. That curiosity is what you need for the visitor to click on links or to open emails so that they can further be marketed to. So that's a very important aspect of this persuasion content building, curiosity. Now, here's something I love to throw out there, and don't be too freaked out about this. 644 million yada yada websites. That's how many active websites are on the web. And it's actually probably more than that. This is just from earlier this year. But that sounds like a lot of competition, but the good news is that 98 of these sites have content that is just crap. It's dull and boring, or it's too salesy, or it doesn't really say anything at all. It doesn't make any kind of connection. There's other kind of websites, 2% or so, maybe not even that many. However, they touch the hearts and minds of visitors. And you want to be in that 2%. And part of being in that 2% is telling stories with content that relates to 3 things that matter most. And I'm going to point those 3 things out here in just a minute. But if you're not aware of what 3 things those are, you might be a little surprised by that turn of events. So don't let all these websites, sometimes we see how many people have websites and we think, I can't compete with all this, but yes, you can. It's not how many, and it's not really about search positioning. It's about your visitor, and are they connecting with what you're saying? Is your passion coming through your writing? So we're going to investigate that as well. A few content misconceptions that we think about when we're writing for the web, and it can be very sterile sometimes, and I've been like this before, tried to make it sound like a Harvard dissertation, or just trying to write out of your own voice, we say. But a few misconceptions. One is, I need to overload my visitors with lots and lots and lots of information because I know what I'm talking about and I owe them that kind of information. But really, do we? I mean, a lot of information can be a huge overload for people and a turnoff. Most people don't wake up in the morning and say, hey, Martha, I need more information today. Usually we can barely digest most of the information that we take in every day. And if you're anything like me, you can easily become overwhelmed by too much information. So really, we're talking about emotional content and not a lot of overload with facts and figures and things that will make our visitors' eyes glaze over. Another misconception, writing should be perfect. Perfect grammar, just perfect like a hospital brochure. But you know what? That equals stuffy. You want to write in your own voice. It's okay not to be perfect in your writing. It's okay to write like you talk. And it's okay at least to write like your visitors expect you to talk. If you have a certain kind of industry, talk within that industry. If you're a lawyer, go ahead and talk some lawyer speak. But if you're just a life coach, you need to talk in a more comfortable conversational tone. So don't always think that you need to be perfect all the time. Another one, offering tons of benefits. Again, that's just more information. We think benefits are the thing that we need to sell ourselves. But, you know, we're selling ourselves. We're not really selling all the benefits. Let the people figure out the benefits as they go along and go through your site. Okay? It's not Walmart, and we don't have that overwhelming Walmart attitude on our website. We're experts in things, and we need to focus on one thing at a time and to lead your prospect from one page to the next, one story to the next, and one product to the next without overloading them. And here's another one that always gets me. Don't write in third person in your About Me section. Every time I open an About Me, I see Mary Sue as a doctor of life coaching, and she has done this and she has done that, and it's like I'm reading some kind of catalog about her. You know, go ahead and use I. Write in first person when you're About Me. It makes a personal connection to your visitor, and they know that you're a real person. And put real pictures up there. Steer away from stock. Go ahead and put that beautiful face I know you have and plant it out there. We're always write in first person in About Me sections. Take a look at your About Me and see if it's written in third person. I bet you it is, because a lot of people do that, and it's a common thing, and it's not a big mistake, but it's just a little tweak you can make. Then, of course, we do have a tendency to bark at our visitors and tell them what to do, such as buy something now, sign up over here. And these little calls to action are innocent enough, but at the same time, they can put up an instant wall of resistance in the buyer, or the visitor. So barking orders or trying to tell people what to do, lead them on and trust them to make the right decisions. I'm going to show you a few tricks on how to do that here. Well, before I get too deep into this, I'm going to explain who I am. You guys probably know me through Tom's work or some of the stuff you've read and the emails that I've sent you. My name is Colin Martin, and you can see there that I'm a strapping, young, wonderful-looking guy, and ladies, I am single. So I'm standing next to a beautiful Jaguar, so if you raise hands if any of you want to get extra credit by maybe going out on a date or something like that. Let's move along. I do work for Tom Antion at the moment. I've been his marketing manager for over 5 years, and I love Tom. And I got a great story for you. I started working for Tom actually mowing his grass. You may have read that in the email. And he came in to the yard one day and said, would you like to come inside and work for me? And I thought this was the best opportunity. I wondered how in the world could I get into that house and watch him, over his shoulder without, looking kind of suspicious. And he let me in, so I worked in the yard during the mornings, and then I worked on computers in the afternoon inside his house, and he taught me everything. I spent just thousands of hours looking over his shoulder for real and learning and reading all his books. He's over 1,000 books in his library, and I just learned so much, and it was the best opportunity, a life-changing opportunity, the best thing ever happened to me. You can see in these pictures here, Tom's quite the ladies' man, and he likes to have a lot of fun, and you can see that working for Tom Antion is it's laughs and fun every day. Yes, okay, love Tom. And he also made me the head instructor of his new internet marketing school, which I love, and that's a great opportunity. If you haven't visited that, go check that out. It's pretty neat. But you have to know a lot of stuff to become the head instructor at the marketing school. So he entrusted me with that, and I really have never let him down. And I just love doing that. And obviously I learned so much from Tom and doing the school that I was starting to get these headaches. So I actually I had to have a CAT scan, and I realized that the more I knew about marketing, the more money I was making, and my head actually started to expand. You can see here that I have a dollar-shaped brain tumor, but it's served me well. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And of course, I'm writing Tom sales letters. So if you don't know if I'm qualified to write copy or to be teaching about it, he let me write his sales letters for his products. He took a break. He read a sales letter one time, and he just loved the work I did. So here's just an example of a little bit of the copy that I write for Tom. So when he comes out with a new product, I actually write the sales copy, and I'm really proud that he lets me do that. And of course, I'm in the top 1% of creative writing people in the skills testing on Elance. That's out of 1,300,000 members. I'm in the top 1%. In creative writing, nonfiction, that's you guys, okay? Self-help books and nonfiction books. And of course, this is my greatest accomplishment. I finished my own fiction novel last October. That's up on Amazon and Kindle, and it's selling like mad, and I love it. It was the best thing I ever did, and I want to tell you, I learned so much writing this secondhand God novel that it changed the entire way that I write copy for the web and write my sales letters and opt-ins. So I'm using the experience I learned to write this novel. It's 327 pages. It took nearly 8 months, but I learned so much, and I had fun doing it. Okay, what can you expect tonight? Well, let me get right into it. My promise to you, I'm going to teach you the words that push emotional triggers. I'm also going to show you how to use visitor stories to build traffic. It's really important. I'm going to show you what benefits do visitors care about the most. It's probably not what you think, so you might be surprised with that. Everyone usually is. It's kind of fun. I'm going to show you how to build some curiosity. I have a little step-by-step formula to build curiosity that I'm going to show you. And you can take this with you tonight and start changing the way you write tomorrow. And then I'm going to eliminate sales resistance by a sneaky little way of eliminating something that we think we always need in our copy, but I'm going to remove it and see if you guys think that it's a more powerful or less powerful copy. And then I have an instant formula, color-coded, by the way, to write persuasive headlines, especially headlines for sales letters or subject lines for emails, which are extremely important. You always want emails to be read and to be opened. So if you want to get more open rates on your email to try to sell the products that you're pitching, you want to write really catchy and stealthy email subject lines. And of course, after all that, I'm going to have a popular Q&A that people can ask me anything. I'll go ahead and answer your questions live here. You just type them in the question box that you guys have been using so far, and I'll answer them verbally like I'm talking to you right now. And I want you guys to know I will be making an offer towards the end, right before the Q&A, where you have an opportunity to join some workshops with me to learn much more of this in detail. So if these theories and this copy resonates with you and it's something you'd like to do and you want to work with me personally, I'm going to have an offer that I'll show you at the end, and you'll be, I think you'll be really excited to join my community there. Well, why is content important? You know, obviously we write for the web. We're all writers, and we spend a lot of time writing. Some of us write better than others, but none of that has anything to do with anything. But content's important for your visitor. It builds rapport, it builds trust and credibility, and those are the things that years ago were missing on the web. So for a long time, there were no phone numbers, there were no real pictures of people. It was just some kind of thing that wanted to grab your credit card number, and then you didn't know if someone was going to be there or not. So content, it became more of a way to present ourselves, to sell ourselves, to present information. And Mark asked me today, you know, what's the web for? Because he said, it's for making money. And actually, it is to a certain degree, but first and foremost, it's about information and inspiration. It's like a library. Libraries really aren't there to make money, but you can make money from the knowledge that you gain, and you can make money as a marketer selling information to people. But you have to build trust and credibility before you can do that, so it's very inspirational. Content brings visitors back. Obviously, if they like what they read, they keep coming back. So repeat traffic, just like repeat business in a physical store, it's extremely important. Decreases bounce rate. Let me tell you what a bounce rate is. The bounce rate is how long someone stays on your website, and the average right now is 4 to 7 seconds. That's not a whole lot of time. And if your content is compelling, if there are stories that they get caught up into, if they get to watch videos of you speaking, if they're just generally loving the content, they're going to stay on that site a little longer to look around. And that plays an important part in your search engine positioning. If people are bouncing, as we call it, off the website, they come in and they leave, they come in and they leave, because they just don't instantly see something interesting to them, that can really hurt you in the search results. And of course, content tears down the walls of resistance. It helps people open up to new concepts, inspiration, and new ideas that you can help educate them and sell to them. Let's talk about something that's been happening lately. For so many years, and you know, I'm an SEO expert. I work with Tom, and I've been doing this for years, how to get good search positioning. And basically all these years we've been using keywords. Keywords are very important in the search engines finding your website and putting it in the results so that the searchers can find it, delivering good content and product. But things are starting to change. There's a little bit of new things going on out there, and this year started a new trend with all search engines that just using keywords wasn't quite enough. You have to deliver some kind of content that people enjoy and interact with, because if they don't like it, or they don't share it, or they don't interact with it, it's not a good enough product. And the search results are the products that Google delivers to the searchers, which are their customers. So to make a better product, they want to deliver a better website. So a better website are ones that people love. The new rules of search, they're going to ban low content website. They can tell how much content's on there, and if it stinks, they're getting rid of you. And I don't blame them any for that, to be honest with you. It's going to be less importance on the keywords and more important on the content. It's also going to be, what kind of experience does the visitor have? Do they actually have fun there? Do they interact? Do they leave comments? Are they able to share? Do they look like they're having a good time? Do they link to it? These are all things that create an experience that Google's going to be able to measure from now on. Higher results for websites people like. Obviously, if you like a website, that's going to become a better and more higher search result product to deliver to their customers. And of course, I don't know if everyone's heard of Panda, but Panda is a new algorithm that Google is using. And it's not about keywords, it's about people looking at website after website. They get a whole group of people to just go through websites, and they measured how long they stayed on them by how interesting they were and how much fun they were having. Okay, so they were measuring a whole new algorithm based on the interaction with visitors to the website, whether they turned the pages, whether they visited links, whether they watched videos, whether they pushed the little share buttons, whether they left comments. All these kinds of things created an experience that people like websites, and it's all called Panda. Well, how does Google know if you like a website or not? Well, they're really sneaky, and they have a few ways to measure this. First off, they can tell how many times repeat visitors come to a website. Repeat visits mean that a website must be interesting, and they can measure that. They can tell if you're leaving comments. You're obviously typing stuff in and going into comment boxes and interacting with forums and things like this that are inside websites. If you do that, Google can measure your interactivity, whether you're reacting within the site. And of course, everyone's heard of the Google +1 button and all the share buttons. Well, Google said that the +1 button that you see now isn't really going to matter for search results, but it will. And as the year comes to a close and we go into 2013, how often people share using that Google One button will play an important role in whether people like the website. So if you're sharing your website with your friends, it must be good, and thus you'll get higher search results if people share your site more. And of course, stickiness, that means they're sticking around. They're watching videos, they're reading stories, they're engaged. Google can tell exactly how long a visitor stays on the site. So that's your bounce rate. These are the kinds of things that Google can measure. And its content has everything to do with these 4 elements. Let's talk about emotional content. What is it? It's about understanding your prospect. And a prospect isn't a faceless person. These are customers. These are people that walk into your store. And whether you have a donut shop or all the way up to having a law practice, understanding why that person is visiting is very important. You have to write content in your website that they can understand, that they can relate to, that they know why they're there when they're reading it. It's very important. Sometimes you have to address certain situations and emotions that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Well, if your competition is addressing something, a taboo subject, or maybe even crossing the line a little bit and getting deeper into the psyche of your visitor, they're going to get the trust and credibility and the sale than you will. So you don't want to hide behind your emotions and be afraid to express yourself. Go ahead and talk about things that are important, even if you have to dig fairly deep. And obviously, to do that, you have to be comfortable with expressing your own emotions. Just like when you write a novel, to express the characters and the situations and the fears and the excitement and the thoughts they have, you have to start tapping into yours a little bit. So it's very important to dig deep down and write from your deepest part of yourself, and you'll have a better relation with your customer. And you can see this little quote I put down here at the bottom: comfort in expressing your emotions will allow you to share the best of yourself with others. And sharing the best of yourself will make a lot more money when we're talking about web. I did mention a few minutes ago about writing in your own voice and avoiding jargon. And this isn't something that is a big mistake. It's just sometimes we think that we should write perfectly, and we're very self-conscious about how we write, and we end up using industry jargon. You may be a lawyer or a doctor or a life coach or a chiropractor. There's so many people that I work with that have a number of different jargon, or industry speak, as we call it. And you want to avoid that a little bit and come in and write your content a little bit like your visitor. Your visitor doesn't know all those words, and sometimes it can create a big disconnect if they have to figure out exactly what you're saying. So, for instance, I had a client send me this. This was on their website. Our weight loss system has helped thousands of women just like you to lead healthier and happier lives. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It makes sense. I understand it. It help lead healthier and happier lives. It's great. But I wanted to write this a little bit with a little bit more emotional pull and a little bit more in the voice of the visitor. So I rewrote it this way. Butterflies of excitement ran through Lisa's body when she stepped on the scale this morning. Our product had really worked. When's the last time you felt that way? What I did there was I got into a character's head, like I was writing fiction. Lisa's obviously just a fictional character. And I put this on the website, but my visitor was able to relate to Lisa as being one of hers. She didn't want to be one of the thousands of women. She wanted to be just like Lisa. And she knows the feeling of those butterflies when you step on the scale and you've lost 30 pounds or something. That's really cool. And that's very important to your website customer. And then I phrased it with a question: when's the last time you felt that way? Well, I plant that in there so that people can bring the entire experience into their head and continue to think about it past the reading of the copy. So now they're trying to identify our product with some fantastic butterfly emotional experience they had, and that makes the product stronger. And when I wrote this, there was a 45% increase in the sales of that weight loss system. So I really enjoyed that, and this relating to the customer had a real effect on their sales. Another thing you want to avoid is process. Now, I talked about benefits and not overloading people with benefits, but you want to just look at some of the simple benefits that people think about every day, and there's one or two that are very important. So you don't want to overload the benefits when you want to write in benefits and express a few that are important. The process is usually something very technical, and we write very technical a lot. And it's, again, it's just a common thing that we do. It's not right or wrong, but it makes a big difference in the way your customer feels about your website. Another client sent me this: our new technology will clean your carpets with more power and reliability. Super Clean does the job that others can't. Okay, well, that's okay. That's your typical copy that you see. It makes sense. It's got new technology, clean my carpets. It's better than the competition. Well, you can't really make anything better than that. But I definitely, I wanted to rewrite this to offer two small benefits that I think most people are looking for sometimes that a lot of people forget about, and I rewrote it thus. Fresh, clean carpets for your children to play on and more time to spend with them? Yes, Super Clean can do all of that. So I took it away from trying to push the technology end of it, which, you know, every carpet cleaning service has the same machine. It's really about what are the real benefits that someone's looking for about clean carpet. Well, it's usually fresh carpets are safer for your children to play on. And if someone else is doing the work and cleaning them, you don't have to, so you can spend more time with your family. So I touched on time and I touched on health as the two benefits instead of thinking about the process, which is technology and machines. And when I did that, there was a 62% increase in new customers signing up for Super Clean. So that was a lot of fun. Can everyone still hear me out there? Everybody put a yes in there and make sure that everyone's still alive. Because it's awful lonely over here. You know, I'm sitting up in this beautiful condo in Virginia Beach, and usually the jets are flying. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you guys. Diane, Katie, oh, Flo, Anita, Lenny, Yusuf. Oh, great. Thank you. All right, Shell, thank you. I'll take that in consideration. Hi, Dave. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Awesome. And obviously, you want to avoid hype. And that's one thing that, you know, we have a tendency to do. Why do we hype out our stuff? We do it because we're proud of it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you're proud of your education and you're proud of your products, you have a tendency to hype. We spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of time. It's great ego to do that. And so we do use a lot of hype, but we want to focus on, and this is strange now, comfort. Well, how do I move from hype to comfort? And why does that make a big difference? Well, I did see this person. I can't believe they actually sent this to me. This copy on someone's website, make $21,485 a day with this proven, that's a lot of money, with this proven system of internet affiliate websites. 130,000 customers can't be wrong. And if you believe that that ads like this don't exist, I mean, take a look at this one I dragged up. This is kind of neat. Online Business Empire, free. How to create up to 23 different income streams and earn upwards of $2,400 while you sleep at night, and recruit without ever having to cold call. Well, that might sound interesting, but actually this scares the hell out of me because, first off, I would never be able to keep up with 23 different income streams. I would freak out, and I would not be able to sleep, so evidently I wouldn't make any money while I'm sleeping because I would never sleep again trying to figure out how I'm managing 23 different income streams. And recruit. Am I in the military? Am I looking for some kind of soldiers? This is a lot to take in, and this is scary. This copy basically scares the hell out of me. So it doesn't do anything in terms of wanting to sell me on this. So I took my customer with $21,000 a day, which is really great money, but I rewrote it like this. Bob no longer worries about being fired. The lifestyle he's created with our affiliate income websites has given him freedom and peace of mind. All right, there's no point in telling you that you may not make $21,000 a day and 62 cents. I don't even know where they come up with these crazy numbers. But that's a little presumptuous, and people put up an instant wall of resistance when they see something like that. And of course, 130,000 customers can't be wrong. Oh, yes, they can. If you know anything about politics or anything else, or there's a lot of people wrong out there, okay? And there's more than 130,000 of them. And I don't want to be part of 130,000. I'm worried about me. So I know that Bob, the visitor, will relate to my visitor, or Bob, the character. I actually create a character of Bob because the visitor wants to relate to one person, not be lumped in with 130,000 faceless individuals. So, but what the real essence here is not hype, but comfort. Instead of making all this money, Bob no longer worries about being fired, a fear that we all had every day. So I touch an emotional trigger. And then the lifestyles he's created, well, he was able to create a lifestyle that's a dream for most of us. And then our affiliate income has given him freedom and peace of mind, two things that $21,000 a day won't even buy you. In fact, it will ruin your life if you're not careful. But freedom and peace of mind, no. But in affiliate income, if you make money from affiliate income websites, you can have freedom and you can have a peace of mind if it's done properly. So those are the things that I wanted to focus on. And there was a 115% increase in click-through rates between this. The big number there in red, it scared people, and they didn't want to click, and they have just seen too much of this hype before, and it wasn't comfortable to them. So I rewrote it a different way. And so you can look at your copy and you can see what kinds of things, how you can write differently. So what are the real benefits of that I'm touching on here? And sometimes we think it's money and making more money and buying fancy cars and all those kinds of things, but it's not. It's usually the stuff that people can't buy with money, especially time. It's the biggest one. Their family. They want to spend more time with their family. And freedom. Wouldn't you love to just be able to leave your job and feel and not worry about the bills and have the freedom to travel and express your life the way you want? I know I do, and I know you guys do too. And obviously your visitor does, but we're not focused on that as much of the time as we're trying to give them something of tangible material value, such as money, cars, a bigger house, the kinds of things that, you know, they're nice to have, but these are what people emotionally relate to: time, family, and freedom. And of course, there's a couple others. Peace. Everyone wants peace. Dreams. You always want to touch on the dreams of your visitor. And you were once like them, and you know what kind of dreams they have. Write like that and express it. And of course, comfort. That has a little bit to do with money and the house, but don't throw the money house thing out there. Talk about the word comfort, and find that connection with them. And of course, ego. Ego and prestige are both about, yeah, I have a nice car, a lot of money, and a big house. But again, don't throw that out there. Use subtle hints about how they can look better in their neighbors, or they can feel better about themselves, or they can look better in the mirror, or get those butterfly feelings that we would all get if we had a nice house and a nice car and lost 30 pounds. So concentrate on those elements. Oops. The benefits: freedom, comfort, and dreams. All right, here's another piece of copy that a client sent me a couple months ago. We've been so pleased with how popular the juice has been that we got back into the kitchen and have made some delicious juice blends, which we think everyone will enjoy just as much. Actually, I really like that because it's very simple. It's not hypey, okay? It's to the point. They're talking in their own voice. Evidently, this is a cozy little company making this juice blend. I know these guys personally, and that's great copy. But they sent it to me and asked me if I could tweak it a little bit, and I wrote this. You can choose from our delicious apple and raspberry recipe or totally tasty tropical, depending on whether you need to be transported to a serene country orchard or a desert island. Okay, what I did here was, and you can see I did this color coding here. I wanted to throw these benefits of freedom, peace, and comfort into the copy. So choose equals freedom. So I wanted to imply that they had a choice, which makes them feel comfortable. Then I wanted to personalize the apple and raspberry recipe experience by putting the words on there and using those to transport through the tasting of them to either an orchard or a desert island or a tropical island. And serene, I like to use a word like that to equal peace. And then comfort, everyone feels comfortable in an orchard or a desert island. So that's kind of neat to how I did that, and you can see how I color-coded it. And it might be something that you want to do this color coding. And let's talk about some customer-focused words here. I really liked that country orchard thing, and when I wrote that new copy for them, their sales did increase. But I liked their original copy. I just wanted to give the visitor a few extra benefits, and they appreciated it. Again, we talked about customer-focused words there a little while back, so this is really important. And there's inward marketing, trying to draw people into your website, and then there's outward marketing, which is customer-focused words. And this has a huge effect on how your visitor feels about you and your company. If you're constantly focusing on yourself, you're ignoring your visitor. Let's take dating, for example. I'm always going to make a dating reference. And I didn't see any hands up, ladies out there, but I'll ask again later, okay? But right now, let's look at marketing like dating. If you talk about yourself too much, your date's going to get bored. You've been there, I've been there. It's not very polite. The more that we listen and we ask them questions so that we can, even open-ended questions so that they can offer their opinions, you're able to do that in writing. Someone asked me a little earlier today, how can you listen with writing? Well, you can in a way by using customer-focused words, pushing your marketing out there in questions or customer-focused words like you and yours to try to get the visitor to say in their mind why they're there and answer the questions in their mind that you're presenting. And in a way, they're talking to you. Have you ever talked to a computer screen? I do it all the time. I visit a site and go, really, I really like this. Or, you guys stink, I'm going somewhere else. And we're actually talking out loud to a screen like we're crazy. And but people do that. So customer-focused words are extremely important. You want to talk about your customers, and this is measurable, 2 times as often as you talk about yourself. And I know that's a little hard to determine whether you're really doing 2 times as often as you talk about yourself. But there is this thing called the wee generator. Oh, Dawn, she called me a stuff muffin? A stud muffin? You're happily married? Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, back to the wee generator. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks for blowing up bubble there. Not you selling my husband. I don't know what you're talking about, girl. Anyway, I got your number, so we'll talk. The wee generator. Let's check this out, guys. You're going to love this. This is hilarious. Let's see if I can find it. Can I find it? Here it is. Oh, that's not it. There it is. The wee generator. This is at futurenowinc.com/wee.htm. You guys can see it up there. I don't have a link to give you, but you can write that down. You can put a URL in here. I'm going to test out, you can test out a URL and it'll tell you exactly how many customer-focused words are you using for your, or words that are based on you. So I'm going to put in right now Antion.com just to make me look good for my boss, and we'll test it. And look at that. Look at those results. Ooh, Tom's talking about his customer 3 times as often as he speaks about himself. That's perfect. That's excellent, it says. 71% to 28%. If you use this generator, put in your website, and you need to get over the 66% mark there. So that's really good. So that's pretty neat. So that's why Tom's making so much money is, you know, Tom, you think he's talking about himself all the time, which he does a lot. But obviously he's talking more to his customer than you think. And you sort of know it, and that's why people feel comfortable with him. That's why they love him. That's why they think he's funny and interesting, and they buy from him like crazy, more than they do other people. So, and that's because he has snuck in that 3 times essence. I'm going to look at one of my sites real quick. Let's see what's going on here. TopInternetConsulting.com. That's where I sell my YouTube product. Let's see what it does. Ooh, 2 times. Ooh, just could be a little bit better, but I made it 2 times. 67% to 32%. This is so much fun, you guys. You really have to try this. You're gonna just freak out when you do this. It's such a learning experience. Okay, I actually did this webinar 2 weeks ago for Susan Haro. I know you guys know who she is, the PR queen, and great friend of mine. And I didn't test this before I did it. She was really nervous, so I put her website in here. And you would not believe, whoops, let's go back and it's PR secrets. You would not believe what she got, the score she got. 4 times as often she speaks about her visitor as she does herself. 81% customer-focused words. She knows what she's doing, and she is hot, hot, hot. and that's really cool. I love that. So you guys definitely want to give this a shot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put someone's in here from random. Does anybody want to throw their website up there? Ooh, Barbara Allison saying she got 81% 5 times for 123kindergarten.com. Awesome. Wow, that's excellent. D. Boyer Consulting. You know, Don, I'm going to try yours, okay? I only got time for like one here, so I'm going to go for you because I love you, girl. But what is this? D. Boyer Consulting. Let me put this in here. I cannot type because I can't see half the time. Consulting. I think that's right. You ready to go, Don? Are you sure you want to see this? Okay, let's try it. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Holy cow. Good job. Oh, my God. That is excellent. 84%. I think I have the highest winner I've ever seen here. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Okay, I got to try one more, guys. I'm going to do old friend of mine. I've known him for years. Al Borowski. Let me try him. I hope I'm spelling that right. Al Borowski. I think so. You ready, Al? You ready to go for it? Let's see what happens. What in the world? Maybe I spelled that wrong. Did you speak about yourself 1,000 times as often? Ow, come on, man. Are you serious? I think there's a mistake there. I'm not sure what happened there. I think I spelled it right. Okay, anyway. Al, you need to work on that, brother. Let's try one more real quick before you get going. And I really got to get going. I'm going to do Karen Doherty, or Daugherty. Doty. I think I spelled that right. DOUGHTY.com. Oh, that's .weebly. .weebly.com. All right, you ready, Karen? The moment of truth. Needs a little bit of work, Karen. That's okay. That's why you're on the webinar tonight. So you guys check this out. This is hilarious. You guys are great. You definitely want to go over there and check this out. You see how this is working? This is working really good. So, Karen, you don't have a whole lot of work to do, sweetness, so you can definitely do this. So let's talk about some other things here. So y'all visit the WeWe generator. I know you love that name, but I do too. Let's talk about storytelling, and that is one of the main things that I love the most about attracting visitors to the web. And why is storytelling important? It's because visitors get emotionally involved. It eliminates resistance to selling. And fiction, like we said before, like I said before about authors, that doesn't feel persuasive. They can make a point about how a character or a situation unfolds, and you believe it, and you don't question it. And you also don't blame the characters when they do things. Nobody arrested Hamlet for, whatever he did, in his Shakespeare plays. So let characters sell for you, like I did with Bob and Lisa in those examples there. And it's okay to write fictional characters. There used to be these Apple versus Mac commercials that Steve Jobs put out. I know you guys probably saw that way back in the day. The Apple Mac commercials were the two characters. One was an Apple guy and one was a Mac guy, and they pretended to be computers, and they fought back and forth, and the Mac always won. And that was hilarious, and it was funny, and it was a great marketing campaign, and it worked very well. But it was so much easier to do that than actually having Steve Jobs come up and start ragging on PCs, because that just looks mean-spirited. So let characters sell for you. Ongoing stories, especially if you write stories that people need to come back for, part 1 and part 2 of blog posts, or even videos that are part 1, part 2, and part 3, and so on. They keep coming back. Now, mentioned earlier about the new search results and about Google can tell who's coming back. If people are coming back to a site over and over, then it must be good, and they're going to push that site higher in the search results. And this is very important. A lot of people aren't doing this. So write ongoing stories that bring people coming back. One way to do this, if you're not very good at writing stories yourself, and not all of us are, and you don't have to be, it's okay. Solicit stories from your visitors. Go ahead and ask people to submit their stories, and they can do that just simply through an email or any number of ways that you can collect forms or form generators from them. Let them talk about their stories. This one in particular I found on the web, and it's about affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is one of the most uncreative, most boring topics ever created. It stinks. I hate reading about it. It's the $21,000 a day hypey crap that I'm so sick of reading. But when someone here, Deborah here, wrote this story about her affiliate marketing, she found a free course and how it turned her life around, that's a heck of a lot more compelling to me. And I sat here and read this thing because I wanted to know what happened. It did two things. It kept me on the website longer, and it made me trust the product or the affiliate, whatever they were selling here. It made me trust them more. Two things that are extremely important to the search engines. So collect user-generated stories, ones that people like to submit about a product or an experience that you're talking about. You life coaches out there, and you lawyers, and you chiropractors, and anyone selling any kind of service or expertise, everyone's got a story about how a product helped to them, even if they're not one of your customers yet. They have a story about what you're teaching or what you're selling and how that product changed their life, or how it didn't change their life from somebody else, or how their mom did it first. And, you know, any story is important, and you need to collect these. And the way I do it here is with video. You can take YouTube, and people can upload YouTube stories and talk about, a little bit like a testimonial, but it's a story. And they post it on YouTube, and you're able to go over and get the embed code from any YouTube video and pop it right on your blog or whatever. And it's very simple to share videos, or you can post a video on Facebook. So if you're trying to decide what kind of things to put in a story, keep these in mind. You want to use real events from your life if you're writing stories yourself. You want to definitely use real events from your life. You want to appeal to your visitors' emotions. Remember, why are they there and what are they thinking and feeling? Get inside their head a little bit. Guide visitors towards the best decision. That's what a story really does. At the end of the story, there should be a resolution of some sort that helps your visitor make a decision, which is usually buying your product, okay, or buying your services. Focus on positive results. Have your story kind of have a happy ending if you really want to push it that direction. It might as well not have an unhappy ending unless you really want to structure it that way. But keep focusing on positive results and keep an uplift in the story and make them entertaining. And you only use multiple formats. And what kind of formats are we talking about? We're talking about obviously all of them. Text, audio, and videos. In your text, you can do blog posts and articles. Those are stories. You can do audio stories such as podcasting or even blog talk radio. I had a radio show for 2 years, and it was nothing but stories of how people met their soulmates. I either told the story or let people come on and tell their story on the radio. And I would promote my products or my books or my services, my relationship services at the end. But this was, I let people tell their stories, and the people tuned in every single week because they loved it. It was just fun, and they got to participate. And even if they didn't, they were entertained. And then, of course, videos. You want to tell stories on YouTube and especially Facebook, and able to share all the videos that you can share on Facebook and Twitter. That's what social networking is all about. And this is how a lot of the big companies are actually taking user-generated stories and sharing them on Facebook. Well, how do you share them on Facebook exactly? Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. Here's some other guidelines. Not guidelines, but some ideas here. Okay, some stories if you don't really know what to write about. I know that's a big problem. You don't have to be a fancy writer to do this. Just think about writing in your own language, in your own voice, and talk about these things that have happened to you, like boy meets girl situations. We've all been through that. Or girl meets boy. A small town boy or girl makes good. That's always really compelling content that helps your visitor relate to you. Overcoming pain and obstacles. If you became a life coach, I want to know why you became a life coach. What is it that made you who you are? And will that story relate to your visitor? Yes, it will. Learning something new even after it seems too late. That's very inspirational because sometimes we think we don't have time anymore to learn anything new. And that's a shame because really we do. And my story about when I met Tom, I want to tell you I was 43 years old, okay, when I started mowing Tom's grass. 43 years old, mowing grass, okay. I had a divorce and I lost everything and I was in a bad position, and that's where I ended up. That was my life room right there that I was walking around in, and I learned something new. Now look at me, writing copy for one of the most famous marketers of all time and talking to you guys tonight. This is so cool. And I didn't learn this stuff until I was 43 years old. And you can always use what you learned to show people that they can do the same. Don't limit your visitors. Show them that every opportunity is possible. Then, of course, creating meaningful relationships with family and friends is extremely important stories to tell. How did you meet who? And what did it do for your family? And what kind of friends have you made? People love that stuff. When they're reading these stories, they can be sold to because they've dropped their resistance and they've let go into your website, and it's extremely important. You want to share stories of yourself or other people? Use Facebook. And I have a little bit of a step-by-step here. You can feature content like YouTube videos and articles and things like this. Put it on your own website first or your blog post. Make sure it's always posted there first. And then take those links to those pages and those videos and post them on your Facebook timeline. Not only will people find that engaging and they're able to leave comments and share their own stories once you've kicked it off, so to speak, if they click on the links, it drives lots of traffic to your website. And when people share that with their friends or make comments, it can drive a lot of new visitors to your website. But just don't post stuff on Facebook that are just automatic, that don't have anything compelling. Put something really interesting there that people can actually leave a comment, because when they leave a comment, it kind of counts as a vote saying, yes, I really like this stuff. And it creates what's called social proof, where everyone is agreeing that, yes, this is great content. And if it's your content, you should be very happy about that. You also want to encourage having your friends post their own stories, uploading all their own stories and sharing. Have a big story fest going on here of experience. It only makes you seem like the good guy all the time. And then, of course, they're going to tell their friends to go read the stories. Hey, I posted a story over here. Well, when someone leaves a story or a comment, all their friends see it. So exponentially, you can get a lot of traffic that way. And, of course, tell them to share it with their friends and try to get that traffic. Be obvious about it. And, of course, you can collect stories on your own blogs. You know, if you have a WordPress blog, there's a plugin that's free, and it's called Contact Me. And there isn't a direct link to it that isn't 9,000 characters long. So the easiest thing is to just go to Google. Don't do it right now. Wait till after the webinar, and go over and put in the Contact Me plugin, and it creates a form on a page where people can paste in or write in their story, and now you have something to post. Especially when you can't think of anything to write, it's a great way to put stuff your friends and share that on your blog posts. So if you're using user-generated stories, how does that help you? Besides driving traffic and making friends, being interesting, you can learn more about your visitors. And that is the key to selling to your visitors, is knowing what they're there for, what their concerns are, and what exactly are they looking for. It's very important. You can collect feedback and comments. That looks like social proof. If you see a lot of comments, you think this blog must be really good, or this post must be really good. So you want to encourage that and make sure that people do leave feedback and comments. What do feedback, comments, and everything else really teach you? How to use that information to make new products. This is what I do all the time, where I ask visitors to leave stories or explain their situations, and what kinds of things do they believe would help them in the future. What kind of products or books or audio tapes or anything are they looking for? And when they leave that information, I have a whole plethora now of instant products that I can make throughout the entire year based on what the concerns of my visitors and the dreams and hopes of my visitors left. Really cool. Now, this is the super stealth trick that I've been wanting to get to, and this is controversial but fun. Whenever people do creative writing classes, and I know I've taken a few myself, and creative writing is very similar to ad copy. Well, there's two powerful elements out of these three that are extremely important in selling more products. In creative writing class, there's three elements: love, conflict, and resolution. So love would be Marianne had all these friends, and she was 17, and she went to high school, and she was a cheerleader, and everyone loved her, building up the character, love for the character, and then boom, conflict. A van pulls up while she's walking to school one day, and she gets thrown in and abducted and taken away. So there's a conflict in the story. Now you're hoping that the story has a resolution, like her mom tracking down the kidnappers, pulling out a baseball bat and doing a number on everybody and saving the day. Perfect story. It's like half the movies I saw this year. Okay, love, conflict, and resolution. Three elements of a great story. Well, ads follow that too. Ads talk about love, which is our product is really fantastic, and it's better than the competition. And then the conflict, well, you need to lose weight, or your carpets are dirty, or your tires are bald. And then the call to action, use our product, and you'll be able to fix the conflict situation. Buy our new tires, they'll last forever, or take our weight loss product, and you'll lose a bunch of weight. So there's a call to action. But I'm here to tell you that a new way of selling things is to eliminate one of these elements. So the super stealth persuasion trick I'm going to show you right now. Out of love, conflict, and call to action, only two of these elements are needed to create the most powerful copy. And one of these creates a wall of resistance. Now, I want to ask you guys right now, go ahead and type in, out of these three things, which one would you take away to make a more powerful story and a more powerful copy? I'll give you a few minutes. I take a drink of water because I'm talking too much. Oh, I see. Call to action, conflict, action, love. That's always nice. Call to action, conflict, call to action. Wow, you guys are popping them in there. Thank you so much. I see love. Love's getting a lot of votes here. Yeah, no clue. Anita, that's okay. I'm going to show you in just a minute. None. Well, that's good. Dump call to action. That says done. Good job. All right. Joanne Dalkfetter, call to action. Great. Well, let me show you something here. I want to tell you a little quick story here about this beggar who lived in this court in Ireland, and he sat here and he begged money all the time. And he's blind, and it was cold, and he sat there every day, and obviously he was such a fixture there in the courtyard every day that people didn't really pay much attention to him anymore. So people went about their day, and they weren't really too concerned with what the beggar, his needs were, and it was very cold, and this was all the only money he could get up to have to make a meal for the night, but people didn't really bother giving anymore. And he had a sign here, like most people would put a sign out. It said that, "I'm blind, please help." Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, and but people kept ignoring the sign there. So he collected a little bit of money here and there, but not really much. People just typically walked on by on their way to work, on their lunch hour, and they really just ignored the blind beggar, and people just didn't care much anymore. One lady came across one day on her lunch hour, and she looked at the sign, and she thought to herself, maybe I can write something a little bit different. So she picked up the sign, and she picked up a pen, and she decided to write something in her own words. and he could smell by her perfume that she was attractive, and he could hear that she was writing something on the sign. Well, she put it back and went ahead and went back to her office. She was on her lunch hour. Something incredible started to happen. The beggar sat there, and he started to hear people throw change onto his mat, more than usual. And more people gave, and he heard more and more change hit the mat. And more people gave. All of a sudden, people were just throwing all the change they had on his mat. More people came by and dropped even more change. And he picked up the can at the end of the day, and it was unusually full, which wasn't the norm for his normal day. And he shook that can, and he knew that he would have food for tonight. Well, about 5 o'clock after work, the woman came back around to see how he was doing. He could smell by her perfume that it was the same lady from before that wrote on his sign. And he asked her, "What did you do to my sign?" And she replied, "I just wrote a new sign. I wrote the same thing, but I just used different words." Now, what words did she write? It's a beautiful day, and I can't see it. From this story, now which one would you remove? Love, conflict, or a call to action? In the first sign that the beggar put up, he had conflict and call to action. He was missing the love part. I'm blind, please help. It couldn't be any more straightforward. There was a conflict, I'm blind, and a call to action, please help. But why didn't anyone give? She changed the sign to simply have a love and just a conflict and left out the call to action. It's a beautiful day was the love, and I can't see it as the conflict. If she took away the call to action, how did the people know what to do? Because the conflict and call to action, it didn't seem to work. But her sign, love and conflict, without a call to action, they gave like crazy. Because the super stealth persuasion trick, something I've been using for quite a while now, a call to action can create an immediate sales resistance to many visitors. Saying, please help, as innocent as that sounds, can instantly put up a wall of resistance. Love, that she put the "it's a beautiful day," something that we all can relate to, the story, brought the resistance down. And she knew that she could trust those people to give, and you can trust your visitor to make the right move without a pushy or salesy call to action. If you say, if you're too salesy or too pushy, you can kill your conversions and your sales. Sometimes just talk about a story, then talk about the conflict that people are having, and let them trust them to make the right move. And you'll see a huge increase in your sales, just like the beggar did. Here are some examples of some things that I've written. Love and conflict with no call to action. These are headlines for sales letters and email subject lines. And I've color-coded them so you can see the love and the conflict. Your product can help people, but no one's buying it. Trust me, I would open that because not everyone's buying my product that I want. So I'm compelled to see what I mean by that. If the real estate market is recovering, why will 48% of agents lose their jobs this year? I don't know. But now I need to open it to find out. I didn't need open this email to find out how to sell more real estate. Give me something to think about, and I'll make the decision myself. Love, I met the soulmate of my dreams. Then he disappeared without a trace. Okay, that's happened to me before, and I bet it's happened to some of you. But if you're a relationship coach or a life coach, or you're selling any kind of products based on that, your visitors have had that happen a lot, and you don't need to tell them what to do. They know what to do when you present it that way. The conflict breeds the call to action without being salesy. And often a bridesmaid, never a bride. I know all you single ladies have thought about that, where you've been a bridesmaid at all these different weddings, and you thought that no one's ever going to ask me to be a bride. And for someone who's still single, that's a very compelling way to get someone to open something. I used that subject line, often a bridesmaid, never a bride, in an email, and it got one of my highest open rates ever. And I didn't ask anyone to do anything. I trust people to do the right thing. Why is that? Well, there's something called curiosity and suspense. It's a part of our brain and our makeup. We want to know what something is by just giving a small clue. And back in the 20s, there was this lady called Zygarnik, and she created the Zygarnik effect. She's a psychiatrist, and she decided or figured out that the human mind cannot stand an unfinished thought or concept. So if you say something halfway, people automatically pay attention to try to listen to what's going to come next. If you do that written, they'll turn pages, they'll click on links, they'll sign up for things, they'll open emails, they'll read the rest of sales letters, and they'll read the rest of the story on your website. That way, you've compelled that person to engage in your content more than you ever could just by blaring out all the facts and all the figures, all the benefits, and all the information that you thought they wanted to hear. Do it halfway and see the effect on it. And it touch them where it really matters. When you tell these stories, think about what you felt in different circumstances, and let the curiosity just touch them slightly and let them decide to make the next move. Include the reader in the situation. I liked those examples of Bob and Lisa that I had earlier about dragging the person into the story. And without telling them to do anything, include them in and invite them into your stories. That builds a lot of curiosity and suspense. And also use vagueness and ask questions. Questions always beg an answer. And ellipses, those are those three little dots that I think I overuse all the time, but they're actually imply that something is coming next. So this is really cool. Check out some of these crazy subject lines and headlines that I've written that create curiosity and suspense. Today you will meet the most beautiful person in the world. What does that mean? Well, you have to open up the email or read the rest of the letter or the article to find out. And people want to know what that means because that's very exciting, and I don't know what that means. How many of you would do this without hesitation? What would I do without hesitation? That begs me to open up the email or click on the link or anything. It creates a huge curiosity because I'm posing a question, and the answer is embedded in the content, the email, or the rest of the sales letter. This girl is making me really jealous, ... I used that just recently and got the highest open rate in my emails that I'd ever gotten in 5 years. And I didn't even know why, except people really wanted to know why this girl was making me jealous. Who's the girl and what was she doing? It's just deliciously juicy and you couldn't help it. Yes, there is a Satan in the real estate industry. Okay, that's pretty provocative there. I went out and made a statement, and if you're in real estate, you will open that letter, okay? Or you'll read the rest of that article. I made this one mistake, and I know you have too. What I've done there is I've related to my visitor that I'm just like them, and that I know they make mistakes. I'm not telling them that I'm perfect or they're perfect, but the answer to what mistake it was that bonds us is in the rest of that email, letter, or content. And of course, a tricky one that I used just a few weeks ago. If you guys got my emails, I don't believe it. And I know you guys enjoyed that one because it was the second highest open rate that I've ever gotten mailing to everybody. So I just love putting these provocative things out there. I call it rubbernecking, where it looks like something's going on behind the scenes. You really don't want to look, but you do anyway. And you just compelled to open it because I've made some kind of statement, rubbernecking. Okay, guys, we're pretty much at the end of here the self-persuasion webinar. I got a live Q&A that I want you to stick around for because you guys can ask some questions. I'd love to answer them live for you, but first I want to ask you, did I keep my promise? because I made a promise, and it's very important to me that these webinars are accessible and that it's understandable. I don't want it to be too complicated or too boring, so did I keep my promise? I told you what Google wants to see in website content and why that's going to matter to the search engines here really shortly. I hope I answered how a call to action creates sales resistance through the beggar story. Fascinating stuff there. And how love and conflict can be very persuasive. I got my little color-coded formula there that you guys can use. And did I show you how to increase your customer-centered words with the wee calculator? Yes, I think that we had fun with that one. And benefits. Did I show you a couple new benefits that you may not have thought about? And even if you did, maybe you needed some refreshing. The time, the family, and peace and comfort. Those things other than just making money, or losing weight. And did I tell you ways to collect powerful stories? Did I show you how to collect them on video and audio and collect stories and share them with everybody? And of course, stickiness on your website is one of the most important things. Keeping people there and engaged. Did I show you a few benefits of how to keep people to reading stories and coming back, watching videos, leaving comments? And of course, was I cute and funny? Yes. I hope I was cute and funny. You see that picture of me down there? That's was taken just today. And Bob Walker has a question mark. Bob, you don't think I'm cute and funny? Anyway, see me? Look how cute now. I don't have a nose, but I love my yellow face these days. All right, before we get to the Q&A, I just want you to know that there's some more things besides this that you need to know about. And here's a few things you might want to jot these down, or have the replay sent to everyone tomorrow, so you can read these slides over again. But writing in a conversational tone is extremely important, and learning how to do that will make huge amounts of stride in your visitors. Building a persona. Have you guys ever really wanted to present an image a little bit more precise and more profound than you may have now? You noticed that whenever Dr. Oz or somebody's on a website, it's very compelling because he wears the white coat and he knows exactly how to speak, and it's all a persona. Tony Robbins does it, everybody does it, but do you know how to do it? And then framing yourself as an expert. Well, just because you have the sheepskin doesn't mean that other people are saying that you're an expert. And maybe you're not doing it right. Maybe you're turning people off. Framing yourself as an expert is extremely important. And then, of course, this is really important. If you have a lot of benefits and you're trying to teach a lot of people stuff, you want to lead your visitors step by step to the results. You need to write content and try to sell people on concepts that are results-based, that as soon as they read your content, they have something instantly to take home with them and use right now. Kind of like this webinar tonight. Everyone's shooting these videos and everyone's using YouTube. I sell, with Mark, I have a YouTube product there. But writing scripts, that's just like writing your own TV show here. Do you guys know how to do that? And scripts are very important in selling stuff. And 98% of people get their content from video in the next 5 years is what the predictions are going to be. So shooting video is very important. And building a huge fanship. We're sitting here doing these fan pages and on Facebook and Twitter, and we got all these followers. Are we engaging them correctly? Well, there is a way to learn all this stuff, and here's my offer that I was going to tell you about. And it's the Self-Persuasion Workshop. I put it on. It's a live webinar, just like you're on tonight, except it's a small community of people where we answer Q&A, and there's 12 of them. There's going to be all sorts of different topics, especially all those that were covered. Article blogging and content, creating product launches. I got one about crafting the perfect sales letter. That's really cool. How to create social proof. We talked about that. How to get people to comment like crazy on your websites. And people buy now not because of what you say, but what their friends recommend. So are their friends recommending your stuff? How do you get characters to sell for you? I went through examples of how to do that. Bob, Lisa, the Mac and Apple guy. Having characters sell for you is a lot of fun. And I'm going to have a specific workshop on how to do that step by step. Also, I'm going to have one use situations and stories to brand yourself. So that's really cool. branding yourself is really important. And stories are the one way that every business, even Coke, Pepsi, Nike, everyone brands themselves through the use of situations and stories. And crafting powerful teleclass and webinar closes and content. Just like having fun on this webinar that we had tonight and telling stories and asking people's advice, you know, there's a way to put all that together that can make the most money. And then there's all this other content that we didn't even get to touch on tonight, like text messaging, okay, doing polls, polling your Facebook and Twitter fans to learn what's important to them, and using comments to help sell and drive traffic, and a whole bunch of other stuff I'm going to have on these workshops. There's 12 of them. They're live workshops. They're recorded and archived, and you can see them all. And, of course, they're always going to have immediate results on each one that you can use right then, take home, and implement right into your business, into your copy. And, of course, each one has a live Q&A with me. So they're like 60, 75 minutes long, and they're really very inviting. So I hope that you guys would join me for these workshops. Actually, the first one is coming up next Thursday, May 3rd at 7 o'clock. And it's an exclusive, members-only workshop. And it's going to be about crafting powerful teleclasses and webinar closes and content. So if you guys have want to do webinars like I do here and learn how to craft them properly, I can show you how to do that. I've been doing it for a year now and just making a fortune doing it. I also have, if you want to join that community of workshops, I have this fast track companion guide, which are basically all the slides here, all in a downloadable ebook, PDF. I also have a whole bunch of over-the-shoulder training videos, just like Tom showed me. I went through a site and critiqued how bad or good things were. I'm doing that with sales letters and emails and websites, and they're all in a screen capture video. You guys can just watch 3 hours of this over-the-shoulder stuff where I rip apart stuff and put it all back together again. It's really cool. And then this is really cool. If you join the community workshops, I'm going to give you swipe files. These are the real emails and sales letters and things that joint venture letters that I sent to get partners, all the swipe files that you can use and just substitute your own business name that Tom and I have used to make literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. The real files and everything that we've used I've collected in a swipe file that you get to use. And you can basically, it's like a plug-in template. So that's really cool. So I have 12 live webinar shops, 3 hours of training videos, the fast track guide, and the swipe files. All four. You know, here's my offer, so stick with me here. At $97 or 3 payments of $37, and you can go over to Expert Web Writing and sign up for this exclusive 12 training workshops and all these bonuses for only $97 or 3 payments of $37. But I need to tell you one super duper bonus here. What I've done here is if you join my community tonight and you want to join me for the 12 workshops and we can learn all this stuff together, I'm going to give you a one-on-one content critique and an editing of your website, your sales letter, your opt-ins, emails, anything that you've written. And if you want an intimate, creative writing editor for the web, I'm your man. This is an opportunity to get me to write and suggest the stuff for you. So if you have a website, you have a brand new product launch coming up, you have a new ebook, you have a brand new sales letter, and you want me to critique it for you and go through this and help you craft the most compelling, emotional, persuasive copy you can, this is an opportunity to work with me personally, to send me stuff, and I'll actually look through or I'll send you a screen capture video of me making changes and whiting stuff out, and it'd be easy step-by-step suggestions that you can follow. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I would suggest that you do as a super bonus. So now you get all 12 weeks of webinar workshops. It's every 10 days starting May 3rd. 3 hours of training videos, fast start guide, the swipe files, and of course the one-on-one editing time. A valuable way to work with me, Tom Antion's copywriting, and the head instructor of IMTC, all for $97. So I encourage you guys, really, if you want to join this community tonight, and let's start working. Next Thursday is the first one, and I can only take 20 people because I'm extremely busy, and the editing that I have to do is very time consuming. I have to read through, and I'll actually talk on the phone with you or write you emails or send you a video. So I can only do 20 tonight. I can make room a little bit later. So if you want to try to contact me another time, that would be great. But the workshop starts next Thursday. I hope you guys can be there to join me. We're going to have fun. And I'm going to go ahead and start the Q&A. But go ahead and, if you're interested in joining the community, go over to expertwebwriting.com. And there's a cute little sales letter there. And there's a couple buttons and stuff. One's for the 97 and one's for the 37. And we can get started. And this would be a lot of fun that we can have. It's a secure server, so don't worry about any of that. And it's with one shopping cart, the same cart Tom uses, so your credit card information is safe. And I really would love to work with you. It would be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it would honor me to look over your writing and help you clean that up a little bit. We can work together. This is a two-way street. It's not just a us and them kind of thing. Let's go ahead and start our Q&A. So you guys go ahead and put in some questions. And let's see here. Let me go for the first question. Jim Lane. Don Boyer left. Thanks, Don, for joining me tonight. We had a big room tonight. I mean, I couldn't believe how many people were on here. Jim, I'm in great internet marketing training as a mentee. Is this included in my training? Yes, Jim. Actually, because you are in Tom's mentor program, I will work with you on this stuff, and you will be invited to the workshop. I may not be able to give you the one-on-one editing, but we can work somewhat together through the program. But I definitely want to sign you up for those workshops or access to the recordings of the workshops if you want. So good question there. What's a tip to framing ourselves as an expert, Richard? The best one is to get testimonials from people saying that you're an expert that are respected in your field, someone more respected, more popular than you. Try to get a testimonial and say, for instance, I'm a copywriter, so I would love to have someone like Frank Kern or even Tom Antion say on a webinar or a video or an article or a testimonial, Colin is one of the best copywriters I've ever seen. That framing there is more than I could ever do myself in terms of creating the expert status. People will never listen to you as an expert. In fact, if you just keep saying you are, it puts up a wall of resistance again because you're telling your visitor what to do. If you can get someone else they respect to do it, then they always listen to that other person before they listen to you, and they will make the decision to create expert status in you in their own heads via somebody else. So you always want to go out and look as much as you can and try to get people to create expert status for you, and it works. Patrick, what time zones? The time zones are a problem. I am in Australia. For the live ones, I guess, yeah, that might be a bit of a problem, but they're all archived, and then, of course, you can still work with me personally anytime. So I have a lot of Australian people, a lot of Australian friends that have signed up for this, and I'm looking forward to that. So it seems to be working so far. Are there any copyright issues when using videos that are on YouTube? Barbara, absolutely not. If someone doesn't want you using a YouTube video, they're able to cut off the embed code, the access to that, or make it private or public. They can make it private or unlisted, and that way you can turn that off. So anytime you upload a video to YouTube, or anyone does, there's an option for sharing, and you can turn that on and off. And if you turn off sharing, the embed code isn't there. If the embed code's there, you have full copyright to share that on your website. I wouldn't take it and try to sell it or anything, but it's always good to take a story that's interesting and put it on your blog and share that with everybody. So really, there's no issues on that. Lisa said, Lisa left, she had to run, got to run, but thanks for all that information. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And Katie said, Colin, did you say the Stealth Persuasion Workshop will be recorded if we miss a night? Absolutely. Each night will be live. The first one's Thursday, the 3rd, and then I have another one on the 13th or 14th. They're going to be about every 10 days all through the first part of the summer here. There's 12 altogether. And you can be on there live so you can ask your questions, which is really the biggest benefit of just answering me. This would be like a one-on-one. You know, there's a small group of us going to be on the workshops. It's not going to be as big as this room here. and we can do the questions, and of course they'll all be in an archive where only members can access and watch the recordings. So it's an exclusive way to work with me and to learn all this new stuff. Thanks, Katie. Richard, you just got your program. Thanks, Richard. I look forward to working with you. This is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what everyone's doing out there. It's always so exciting to see what people are writing, what products they're making, and how their stories. I love reading people's stories because everyone's multifaceted, and I love learning all this new stuff. I just had a round of people from 2 weeks ago from doing this with Susan, and fascinating stuff. This one doctor who's teaching, who wrote a book about how to get through pre-med school, and he has all these great stories on his website about all the horrific things that went through pre-med and how to get people just now getting into it to settle in and avoid all the pitfalls of pre-med and actually get something out of being, a doctor. So, Richard, I can't wait to see what jewels you have out there. It's going to be great. Jim Lane, this was excellent content. I would like to listen to this again. I took notes and got 95% of the notes, but could learn more. I know, and I'm glad you took the notes, because that when you write stuff down, that sinks in even further, Jim. But I'll be sending you the recording tomorrow. Everyone will get the recording tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And Cecilia, I'd like to join now, but I'm near overwhelmed with some family issues and some other projects I'm working on. Can I join now to save the price and schedule for the next class to start? For the next class start time? Absolutely. Cecilia, you can join now. You can contact me later. I know about overwhelm and family issues and all that stuff, and I feel you. And I know you and I have worked together before on the YouTube stuff. So anytime you want to join this, at no pressure to join my community here and get started with this. Some people don't even have websites up yet, and they want to start working fresh on their websites. I had a question just earlier today. Someone called me and said, what if I don't have a website yet? How is this going to help? It's going to help perfect. You know why? Because you're going to be writing stuff properly from the start, and you won't have to go in and retype everything, which can be an issue. So even if you don't have a website and you want to start later, go ahead and hit me up. That's really cool. Thanks, Cecilia. I appreciate that. And Joanne and Colin, I've already signed up for your stealth course. Thank you, Joanne. I jumped at the opportunity to work again with you, as I've always worked with Tom for years, as I know you have the wisdom to make me very successful. Thanks, Joanne. I have to say, yes, I do, because I work with hundreds and hundreds of mentees every week of Tom's high-level mentor program, and I'm the one that people call all day while Tom's on vacation learning to swim and things like that, and I love it. It's a fantastic opportunity. Aurelia, she left, got to run, but signed up. Thank you. Oh, I've been wanting to work more with you, Aurelia, for a while. I know that you bought my YouTube thing last year, and I hope you're doing really good with that. We'll talk real soon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Karen, I'm sponsoring Lemonade Day for a kid. What should I write on the sponsor program banner? I'm raising awareness about child sexual abuse. Sponsoring Lemonade Day. Right on this. Wow. I'm going to actually have to that's a little touchy. I'm going to have to think about that. We don't want to rush that. We want to kind of say the right thing, and I'm not going to sit here and just blurt something out. If you contact me, Colin, C-O-L-I-N, at Antion, A-N-T-I-O-N.com. That's Tom Antion's email, Antion.com, and Colin, C-O-L-I-N, at Antion.com. Go ahead and shoot me an email and just say hi or something, and I'll think of something especially for you, Karen, about that particular I really want to think about that a minute. That's very interesting, but at the same time, it's very critical to the success of that entire thing. So let's work on that a little bit together. I'm not going to be able to answer that for you right now. Judy, got to go. Thanks for the info. Good stuff. Look forward to more. Bye. Thanks, Judy Herman. Thank you so much. You're the best. I appreciate you being here. Have to wait till morning to see when I'll be getting paid. Marjorie, you take your time, okay? I'm not going anywhere. That's the good part about all this. I'm here to stay. You know where you guys can reach me. I work for Tom Antion. He's got a phone number. I pick up the phone and answer it. You guys sign up anytime that you want to do this. Hopefully you try to get in before the workshops on the 3rd, next Thursday. But go ahead and do that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for the entire duration, and I will work with you until we were done and satisfied, because I take a personal satisfaction in the success of each person that I work with. I look at the websites, and I want visitors to succeed. I want you to succeed and make money, and it makes me look good. There's nothing that builds my expert status than good, satisfied people that love me, and I want to be a part of that with you. So Marjorie, take your time. Colin, I just bought the program and look forward to review your website, or the review of my website. Katie, I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. So evidently, maybe you don't have to send me. Oh yeah, that was Karen. Okay, Katie, excellent. I'm going to be sending you all the information. Go ahead and start watching some of the videos tonight and look through the swipe files. I'll be sending you information about get everybody signed up for the 3rd, May 3rd, 7 o'clock. The first workshop to kick off next week, and I'll send you how to send me all the information so I can look over your stuff. Great job. Thanks, Katie. I really appreciate it. Yusuf, I signed up. Look forward to learning from you. Thanks, Yusuf. Dude, you're the best. I mean, we've been working together, you and I, for quite a while. I really appreciate this. I really had this great opportunity to work with you. I was hoping that you would, because you really got some great stuff. I'm really looking forward to working with you. Nick, had the wrong time zone. Is this recorded? Yep, Nick, I guess you just missed it. That's a shame, but that's okay, man. I'll send you the recording tomorrow. So take a look for that. I really appreciate you trying to get out on time, but that's cool. Can't always make it on time for everything. I have signed up to work with you, Owen, and look forward to working with you directly. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate that. That's going to be fantastic. I look forward to working with you. That's going to be great. We're going to have a blast. I really appreciate it. Yusuf, a comment on copy. Okay. 2 restaurants in Sydney have different signs at the door. Please wait to be seated versus allow us to seat you. That hit home the importance of copywriting for me. Absolutely. And that one's demand and one is asking permission. It's the old permission-based. I mean, you guys remember Seth Godin. He's a real popular marketer, and I love him to death, Seth Godin. And he has a style of marketing that reaches outward to the customer and is permission-based, where they make the first move to sign up for things and to take the next step. He doesn't push, or he doesn't make demands, and he's made a lot of money doing that. So I consider allow us to seat you as permission-based marketing. So yes, good looking out, Yusuf. You got an eye for this. Good job. Karen, thanks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, write me, Karen, and I'll take care of that for you. And I can't wait to look at that further. Just sent the PayPal request. FB. Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. I'll take care of that. Remember, guys, if you have any issues about the order going through everything, I can't get to it right now because I'm on the webinar, but I'll be going right to the shopping cart after this. And send me emails if you have any questions at all. You can email me at videopower@live.com or Colin, C-O-L-I-N, @antion.com. If you have any questions or your order didn't go through or something got stuck or something, we'll take care of all that tonight after the webinar. And so don't worry. So I want to get an opportunity to work with everybody, no pressure. Richard, a referral, just signed up for your program. Thank you, Richard. Oh, my God, that's great. I have signed up to work with you, and I look forward to working directly with you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Orders are coming in, and really, I can't see my cart, but everyone's saying. Marjorie, thanks. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm excited, too. This is great. Can you tell I've been hanging around Tom? Yeah. FB. Yeah. I can tell the ones who've been hanging around Tom. I've been hanging around him plenty. I love that man. I really do. Nick, signing up in the morning when I get paid. Thanks, Nick. That's cool, man. Just take your time. I can't wait to work with you. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a fun, tight, exclusive community. It's going to be cozy for all those workshops. I'm really looking forward to getting on the first one. And obviously, I want to help you guys create the best copy possible. And we'll work together, okay? And Julia. Hi, Julia. Glad to hear there will be a recording. I missed the evening, too. Oh, I know. I missed you, too. I've seen you on quite a few of my other webinars, and I was wondering where you were. So I really appreciate that. Everyone will get a recording tomorrow. Richard, oops, I tried to pay for another program System said it didn't go, but it looks like it did, so you have a double purchase. I'll take care of you, Richard. Don't worry about it. I'll be taking care of everybody. You know, the shopping cart isn't an exact science, but you never know what's going on with that thing. But we always work out the kinks. So, and Julia said, always great stuff, Colin. Thank you. I really appreciate that. While I'm here, and there's still over 50 people on the webinar, if you guys have any more questions, I'd love to answer. That's why I'm here. So I see Allison's on there, and Cecilia's still on here. And who's on here? Clydette, Daisy, Dave, Douglas, Evelyn, Gerard, Glenn, James Bond. Hey, James. Hey, man, you got to call me sometime. I haven't talked to you in a while. Joanne, John, Reagan, John, more John, Roy, Shelby, Susan, you guys, Tina. Oh, my God. You guys are just great. I love it. So I'm going to get going if you don't have any more questions, but let's go ahead and think of something. Clydette says, can you think of a way to offer a natural perfume for Mother's Day? Oh, yeah, definitely. You want to express feelings of being taken away. I know that old Calgon bath thing is kind of overused and a little bit cliche, but really it's not. You want to touch on a couple things with perfumes. You want to, when you close your eyes and you smell it, where are you being taken to? Where are you transported to? Does it remind you of a certain place or a certain time or a certain golden time or something in their life that you can relate to, like an instant, like your old college prom, or use words like that to try to transport someone to a time where they had, that doesn't really have anything to do with fruits or flavors, but a situation. And if you want any more clarification on that, go ahead and shoot me an email, colin@antheon.com, and I'll help you with that. Great seminar, Cecilia Jones. Great seminar, got to go. Just sent you an email. Thanks, Cecilia. I'm going to read that. Youssef, for the copy on carpets, would you also use pain avoidance? Not only having carpet clean for kids and more time, but avoid the sweat. Yeah, I probably would throw maybe something like don't throw your back out, but I kind of want to stay away from any negative connotations. There's negative words. Pain can, even though you're thinking about conflict, pain, if you use something too specific, a pain word, it can create, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want someone to leave the copy and think about when their back went out or they're sweating or how hard it is to clean a carpet and sort of transport them to a negative place, because then it's too hard to bring them back down to the benefit that you originally, the cozy one of time and family that made them settle in. It's about the butterfly situation in the stomach. And every time someone reads copy, you, me, or anyone else, we picture ourselves somewhere. And we picture ourselves in a situation. We visualize it. So you don't want them to visualize anything negative, even though, and it's even though we talk about adding conflict. Conflict needs, just like with any novel or anything else, it needs to be carefully crafted that leads them away carefully, but doesn't take them to a place of real pain. And we also talk about the pain and pleasure principle and things like that. That does work, but in copy, you don't want to transport them too far away. Cecilia, great seminar. Thanks. Morel, thank you. You're really great. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I know. Okay. That's just great. But I'm glad you think so. Youssef, for the juice example, where you color code words, would you also change font size, types of specific words? Possibly. Possibly. Sometimes with the web, now that works a lot in print, like you might see a banner and the word may look like a strawberry or something like that. On the web, you got to be careful about fonts, colors, and italics and bolding and things like that because of the browser limitations. So when I work with copy, I'm mainly talking about web copy and how it looks on a computer. So not everything is as wide open as, say, a poster like in a subway or even in a supermarket or even in Sears catalog. So you have to experiment a little bit with changing fonts because it can become unreadable. So that could be a problem. You don't want that to happen. If someone leaves a Facebook comment, Richard says, if someone leaves a Facebook comment, you're recommending to ask them to tell me a story and then tell them to share it with their friends? Absolutely. Well, if you want to start the conversation, so what I do is I go ahead and post on my timeline. Last year, I took a trip to Greece, and it was one of the most fantastic times I ever had, and I learned something very important about that trip to Greece. Have you ever taken a trip where you learned something about the people or about the culture that sat with you for a long time or changed your life for the better? And just asking that simple question and egging that conversation on lets people go, well, I took a trip to Miami and, you know, I met my love of my life. Well, and then I took a trip to Brazil and that created a whole new business for me. You know, let people express their stories after you start the Facebook story and encourage people to comment. And then, of course, when they're leaving the stories, get them to share, or you go ahead and share for them by hitting the like or leaving a comment underneath it to try to get as much interactivity as going as possible. So you definitely want to, sometimes you have to start the conversation and let people just pile in. Linda says, can I send you an email about how I could pitch a sponsorship for Green Conference that I'm having? Absolutely. Go ahead, Linda. Send me anything that you need me to take a look at, and I'll look at it for you, and I'll give you any advice I can. Green Conference, that's absolutely, green is not your average product. It is attached to attitudes, feelings, philosophies, politics, even religion to a certain degree. Green is an all-encompassing emotion. It's far easier and also critical to create something about green written with persuasive copy to get people to identify with how important it is. It always has an importance. It's not another tire, okay? So yeah, send me that. I'd love to see that. Linda says, hi Colin, thanks for a wonderful class. May I email you a question about it? Okay. Green Conference in San Francisco. Yeah, okay, I just answered that. Best wishes. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Marjorie, in your material, do you have a list of the fonts that most browsers can view? Actually, I don't, but thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the swipe files. I've never really thought about that. Most of the time, I'm just looking over and making changes like a website critique. Sometimes you can just write your content, and if it looks okay to you and your friends, and test it out on your friends on different browsers. Some people use Firefox, some people use Mozilla, some people use Chrome, you know, Internet Explorer. Have people look at it in different browsers and see if it deteriorates, if it changes, if it looks weird or unreadable. I saw a site today where I could barely see, they had a strange font and I could barely even read it, and the color wasn't standing out. So, you know, I help you with all those changes. But yeah, I'll make a list. That's very important now that I've just brought that up. That fonts, that Youssef talked about fonts. Yeah, that's very important. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you about that. Let's see what else. Katie, so Colin, how do you get all of this great copy above the scroll bar? There's a few secrets. Now that's kind of edging into website usability, which I'd be happy to do a consultation with you as well, you know, included in this. What she means is it's called above the fold, and it's an old newspaper term that the headline, the biggest headline, like war is over, was always on the front page of the paper, but above the fold. And then when you folded the newspaper out, the lesser stories were below the fold, or the bottom half of the paper. Well, on a website, above the fold means where you can see it without having to scroll down any further. And your best copy and your most compelling copy should always be above the fold. So there are certain ways to create a limited amount of copy and opt-ins and things like that, and then have clickable links to go to other pages as opposed to scrolling further and further down. People don't read or scroll further and further down the page. They are more, the trick is to get them to click on a link that will take them to an information-specific page of your website. And the way you get them to click on that link instead of scrolling is what we went over in this webinar tonight about that curiosity building. Those things that I said would make great clickable links, those phrases that have love and conflict or curiosity and suspense, that someone can read a short snip and then you have a compelling piece of a compelling line of text that's clickable, that would take them to a dedicated website, again, where the important information or opt-ins or sales pitches are above the fold. I also want to say tonight that not all calls to action are horrible. There are calls to action that you can use, and big ad firms use these all the time. And I'm not saying get rid of call to action completely. I'm just saying that the way you've been using it before and the way most people use it can be problematic. And here's an example. When you're dating, when you go out on a date, and we talked about that dating again, where you're communicating with that person and you're learning about them and you're listening to their stories and you're telling their stories, your stories, and they're interested and you're having this communication back and forth. That's the way your copy needs to be. Now, asking that person to marry you is a call to action, and you do it eventually, but you don't do it on the first or second date because it kills them, okay? And there's calls to action that are so blatant and so salesy and so over the top that they're similar to asking someone to marry you, and you don't ever want to do that too soon. So call to action should be very carefully planned out, and there's always a time and place for it. So I'm not just saying throw it all away. That's just, I want to clarify that. Okay, Clydette, Verdana and Tahoma are clear and easy to read. Absolutely. I also use just regular Arial, which is the font, I think, of this, the font here on my slides, and Times New Roman. I mean, everyone uses that. There's like 10 standards that you can't go wrong with good web stuff, and but a lot of the crazy ones that you can buy these days, you know, may not look all that great, but you do have to test them out. Katie, yeah, baby, you want to catch those clients right away. You're absolutely right, you know, but don't ask them to marry you too soon. Or Katie, you can marry me if you want. No, wait a minute. I'm jumping in way too soon here. That's okay. We'll see what's up. I'm glad you're talking to me later, okay? Richard, so how will we arrange for you to look over our material? It's very simple, Richard. I'm going to be sending everyone an email tomorrow about the signing up for the May 3rd. I'm going to go ahead and sign you up automatically and register you for the May 3rd. And also, I'll just show you what kinds of things I'm looking for. You can send me a link to a website. You can send me files that are downloadable. Just don't send something really huge or anything. The easiest thing is if you already have stuff up, go ahead and just send me the link so I can check out the website or sales letter or opt-in that you want me to critique. You can, if you have an article, you can send it to me. If you have an email that you're trying to send out to clients, you want it refined, just go ahead and send me the email or paste it right in an email. So it can be a link to a website, or you can paste it right in the email and send it to me in the body of the email. Or you can, or if you really have to, as last resort, you can send me a text file or maybe a PDF or a Word document. So anything like that will work. I'll look it over for you, but I'll be sending you the parameters of it tomorrow. Joanne, thanks, Colin, for a fantastic webinar. I look forward to joining you May 3rd. Thank you, Joanne. You're wonderful, and I can't wait to help you with your website. It's huge, and you've got a lot of great stuff on there, and it's going to take me forever, but we'll sort some really cool stuff out, and it's going to be fun. Clydette, you are very kind and likable and know how to connect with people. Thanks, Clydette. I try really hard, you know. I'm a single dad here, and I even get along with my 18-year-old kid, believe it or not. But I appreciate that, Clydette. And I don't know, I'm just, you know, I haven't always been the most likable person in the world, but to be honest with you, this is exciting to me. I find great pride, finally, at being 48 years old and coming into some new kind of thing to help people not only make more money, but to change the lives of their visitors, which is extremely important, because here's the way I look at it. I look at it as my child is 18 now, is moving away after he graduates this summer, and he'll be gone. And he's going to be out there looking for information that he's going to use every day, and it's going to be on TV, radio, on the web especially, because that's what he likes. And if I could just wish, my wish would be that everything that he reads will really truly help him and not rip him off or confuse him or wear him out or overload him, but give him the tools that he needs to make the right decisions, because I won't be there anymore. And if working with some of you is part of that solution, then that's what I'm going to do. And that's why it's important to me. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. And if there's any, I think that's the end of the questions at the moment. If you guys don't have any more questions or don't feel like asking me right now, you can email me at Colin, C-O-L-I-N, @antion.com, and I'll go ahead and connect with you guys there. So don't have to cram all the questions in here. You still got May 3rd, or you can email me any questions. Email me tomorrow, all weekend, I'll be here for you. And Morel says, so glad that Clydette bought it, as I will work with her. Cool. Yeah, if you guys want to partner up, that's fine with me. I mean, more the merrier. As many people on the workshop as I can get we're just going to have a really good time. It's going to be low-key, fun. It's just going to be very easy. It's going to be filled with step-by-step stuff that you can take with you immediately and start using to make more money in your business. Yusuf says, thanks, Colin. Great session, Mavin. Thanks, Colin. Thank you, Mavin, for joining me. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys learned something tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get going, I guess. If you have any questions now, because I know we're all tired here and we want to spend time with our family. And again, I want to appreciate you spending the time with me, because I know how important it is for you to have spent this time with me tonight, because I know how important time is away from your family. So thank you, and thank you for investing in your business and being the kind of person that takes your business seriously enough to sit here on this webinar and see it with me all night. So you guys have a great night, and I'm going to go ahead and close the webinar session. Go ahead and write me if you have any questions. Thank you to everyone who ordered, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, good night.